This video is made possible by the following sponsors. Make sure to check out their products as well as the rest of my gear in the description below.
Hey guys, Slightly Moist Boy here, and welcome back to Assetto Corsa Competizione for another video. So one of the things that sets this game apart from its predecessor is the dynamic weather that this game has. As you can see in the background, it's absolutely pouring it down and the track is soaked. Of course, this is a very welcome addition to Assetto Corsa Competizione because wet weather is a part of real-life endurance racing, and today I'm going to be testing it out. And as you can see in the background, we've got some AI on the grid, 20 of them in fact, for a race around the Nürburgring GP circuit because we can't go anywhere else right now. So I hope you guys are ready for what I'm sure will be a pretty wild race. Well, so here we are then in the pouring rain at the Nürburgring GP circuit.
Watch out for traffic.
10-minute race.
Target is P10.
Pet engineer letting us know that we've got to try and finish P10. And then also the curbs around here, and anything that isn't the tarmac, as you probably imagine, is super slippy. And you guys will see that as the race unfolds. Hopefully I manage not to go into the back of someone because braking distances are massively increasing the wet, as you'd expect. Anyway, get ready to start the race. And away we go. Softly, softly. Rear end trying to come round even with traction control. Not a great start, but away we go then for 10 minutes into the rain in a Assetto Corsa Competizione, and already I'm aquaplaning down the straight. The car is moving around on the brakes very early down for T1, about as early as I can be without just stopping before the corner. Nice and easy over the hairpin. So soft on the throttle. You can see my throttle input both in the camera and on screen to the bottom right of your picture. Easy. It's so easy to loop this car in these conditions. See the AI and myself just tiptoeing through this first stadium section. Everything's very cold right now, as it probably stayed cold as well because water is usually chilly. Car on the outside. A little bit of contact there. Soft on the throttle. AI slow in front, gonna have to wait for it. Unfortunately, we can't really drive through it, much as I would like to. Spray being kicked up in front. I can barely see where I'm going, even when I've got some space. Just following the lights of the other cars around at the moment, around the outside. Can we make it work? I could do, but it's an R8, very slow in front. It's so wet right now. The car is just not able to break through to the tarmac beneath with the wet weather tyre. We're just skating on the water on top. That's how it feels through the wheel as well. And I've aquaplaned in real life. That's something I can compare this to. And it feels pretty much like this. Wow, car just stopping on the outside there. Had to take evasive action, just scraped him a bit, but still. Schumacher-esque at a crawl. Nowhere near 100 miles per hour through there. Brake before the gantry, try and slow it down. You can see just how everything is a lot slower and a lot more methodical in the wet. You have to really be purposeful with your movements. There you go, easy peasy. Now, something that I did do in my warm-up for this, I'm going to try not to do it in the race, is I went through here at full speed and just understeered off. The car did not respond, so easy through here. So easy to spin the car or just understeer through that section. And yeah, it might look like I'm really taking it easy just for effect here, but this is about as fast as I can go in this video. And this is what I wanted from wet weather conditions from a sim for so long. I mean, if you compare it to something like RF2, when you have wet tyres on the wet line, you aren't really that much slower than you would be in a dry. In this, you're 20 seconds a lap slower. The car feels like it's trying to kill you at every corner, even with all the assists in the world. Easy down here. Up to fifth gear, you can hear the car struggling to put the traction down. Again, just going to the inside really. One thing I will say is it doesn't seem that the wet line exists in this, and the wet line is usually not the traditional racing line. Of course, when it starts raining, any rubber left on the circuit becomes very slick. So you try and drive offline and try and open up the corner as much as you can. That tends to be the wet line, which is why you see people like Max Verstappen driving around the outside of people a lot when it starts raining, because that's the line you should be taking. But of course, it's also unexplored, so you don't really know what it's like until you've actually driven over it. There you go, nice through there. The AI seems fairly competent. I've put them on the hardest difficulty. They're on 100%. So, apart from every now and then when they just stop there, I think what that is the AI starts aquaplaning and it doesn't know how to react to it, so it just brakes. That's something that needs improving for the full proper version, but still, I'm able to have a decent race with this AI, and I'm with them. They aren't overpowered, they aren't particularly slow, apart from the odd slowdown every now and then. You're seeing the corrections I'm having to make in this thing. At the moment, and I know like you probably accuse me of just being hyped because it's a new thing, but this is the best wet weather racing you're going to get anywhere right now. It really is. It needs or wet weather driving, full stop. There are definitely some tweaks to be made. Of course, it's only one circuit, and I haven't seen how it comes in dynamically yet. But from this point of view, where you just start off in a wet race and you drive in a wet race, the car is... Oh, sorry. Yeah, you see, the car is difficult and it gets away from you very quickly. If you are forced into a situation like that where you have to brake heavily, 9 times out of 10 you can't really do much about it. You just go into the car in front of you. I've had a couple of like quite realistic looking crashes in the wet where the car's just spun off. Oh my god, the car was sliding there, making such tiny movements. If you make a big steering adjustment there, the car will just go round. I'm not going to make this.
You're halfway through. Keep pushing.
This feels like a proper wet weather circuit where I'm struggling, as you're seeing. You know, this is legitimate struggling here to get the car around the circuit quickly. Yep, wide there, lost 2 places. Right, come on, Jimmy, you're back down to 15th now. And of course, being deep in the spray, you just can't see anything. I love this effect, this immersion. It's slightly ruined by this massive amount of HUD elements I've got on screen right now, but I can always tweak that at a later date. The mirror is a little bit strange in the wet, but something that I think will also improve as time goes on. Come on, easy now. Softly. There's a car on my outside. You can't just nail the throttle out there. Even I've got traction control set at the maximum setting, and the car is still struggling. We are on the wet tyres, I can guarantee you that.
Watch out in front.
I made sure to go on the wet tyres before I started this race. I wouldn't try this on slicks if I were you. You won't get very far. Again, that AI just braking online. I've got no option but to just go wide. Sorry, Audi Sports sign. Oh, it's stuck. I've got a friend. I now can't see the road at all. I can't see where I'm going. Get off. Get off. There you go. Right, okay, it's gone. Screw you, Audi Sport. I thought Audi Sport was my friend, given that I'm a... Hi, everyone. How is that for a wet weather crash or a spin? I lost it all the way up there, and I was just a passenger all the way down to the hairpin. All the way down. You should never be happy about crashing, but that is believable. That crash is 100% believable. You've seen stuff like that at this circuit, you know. Albeit F1 cars doing that sort of thing, but I'm sure there's been occasions where that's happened in other cars as well, and it just looks so believable. It really does. Oh god, car off to the right, looking to come back on. Nice and patient. That is great to see, although I think he's now stopped. I'm not sure. AI are definitely an improvement over the original Assetto Corsa. Definitely need some tweaks though, but there's time for that. Right, no more big spins, please, Jimmy. There you go, right. So we're down in P19 now. We're not last, which is a good thing, but the goal of P10 looking quite unlikely at this point. My guy said watch out for the curbs. I'm not really doing that, just not on the throttle on the curbs. Right, can we gain some time back? I have to be so slow with the steering. Just be aware of any slipping in the wheels, and then you have to try and counteract that if it comes, and it just takes such a long time to do that. But I'm imagining it now, you know. I said in the last video I did, the first impressions, that I really enjoy the idea of doing a endurance race in this. The rain starts to come down, it gets wet. Some cars aren't set up for it. They start struggling, they start aquaplaning, going off like I did, you know, and then you're there being careful and you're picking up places. That level of immersion, and that'll be so cool. I'm really hoping that this is how this game sort of unfolds and it doesn't end up having some sort of issue somewhere.
Be careful there.
I'm being careful. Easy peasy. AI is, again, just so slow through this section. I think they are doing what I'm doing and just getting on the... having some aquaplaning and not able to do anything about it. It feels so convincing in the wheel, though. It really does. You know, I was in control until the moment I wasn't in control. There's not a better way to say that, really. Try and go to the inside here. There's an AI on my inside, though. Is he going to give it a go? No. Just roll it into the corner. Guys wide. I'm going to try and sneak up the inside. Just hug the curb. Thank you very much. But now I've got to be careful on my throttle application. Now, I know that AI can be slow here, so I'm going to take to the left-hand side of the track. Schumacher S is just a crawl at this point. Yeah, a couple of choke points, it seems, for the AI. Up to P14. P10 might still be possible. Got to have some adventurous overtaking like that. You're never really convinced you're going to stop. It just sort of... You think about it and you go, am I going to stop? And then you do, and it's very relieving. Up to P12, 2 more places. Right, okay. Easy through here. Times come to 0. Does that mean this white flag?
Right, man. The leader is on the final lap.
Oh my god. See through there, the car just kicked out of the rear. If I had continued with that, I would have just spun, as you've seen already. I'm kind of glad that we got one of the spins on camera, because it really highlights what I mean about this weather feeling very believable. Okay, so is this last lap or is it the next one? Right, one more lap to gain 2 places. We can still do this. You brake so early down to the hairpin, and I've got ABS, but I'm not using it. I don't want to use it. I'm just being nice and easy on the brakes. You can't just smash ABS and hope for the best every time. Things don't always work that way. Nicely to the inside. 2 more places now. Really? I thought I guess he wasn't to position? I don't know. Oh, God. So much understeer for this section, and it just transitions to oversteer as soon as you get anywhere near the throttle on the exit. All right, AI's going to be slow here. Yeah, it just stops. Wow, okay. Well, there's my places, I guess. Wait, I'm still P12? Oh, the session's over. It's finished, I think. I don't really... Is it? No, I'm still going round. This is strange. I think the maybe it's got a bit confused. Oh well, we'll continue trying to chase down these guys in front. Oh no, no we won't, no we won't, no we won't. I did it again. I tried too hard. I got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Well, so now I'm P9. Well, I'm glad I've got into P9 somehow now. I gained positions by spinning. That's treacherous down there. It really is. Definitely a lot more practice on my behalf to get good at this. This is essentially my first full race in the wet here, so I'm sorry that I spun a couple of times, but if anything, as I said, it illustrates my point that this is really a proper challenge, and it feels like a consistent challenge, not one where it just randomly bites you, a la RF2 in the wet, where you just can't heat up the tyres enough. In this, it just feels like you are in control, and there are risks to be taken. And if you push it too far, oh no, that happens. So I tried going through there in 5th that time. Well, that's it now. I think this is it. Race over? Yep, race over. Okay, I'm not really sure what happened there. Maybe the leader crossed the line and that was it. Or maybe he got red flagged. I'm not really sure. But I got P10. That's the important thing. So there you are then, guys. That is, of course, a competition only in the wet. And I must say that I am very impressed. The game feels absolutely awesome in the wet. Shame that I can't drive it too well at the moment. Hopefully that will come in time. But it definitely is a challenge and something that I think has a lot of potential, so I hope to see it be developed further. And of course, I hope you guys enjoyed the video too. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit subscribe to be notified of future videos. And while you're there, hit the bell notification icon, because that way you'll be notified of future streams, future releases, and you won't miss anything. Again, a massive thank you to my sponsors and patrons. You guys are MVP. Take care, have an awesome day, and I'll see you all next time.